Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons & Dragons. And welcome back to the channel that brings power gaming to the next level. Today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we are starting our 9th level spell, so we're coming into the home stretch of the end of the spell reviews. This first spell we're taking a look at is Astral Projection. We're giving it a C+. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I've got another video out. All right, Astral Projection. We are giving this one a C+, and it is usable by clerics, warlocks, and wizards. Clerics don't have the greatest 8th and 9th level spells in the world. It is a warlock spell, so you can pick this up with Mystic Arcanum. Bards could also pick this up eventually. Let's look into that. Let's really examine that. I think they can pick this up. Magical Secrets at 18th level. They could pick this up at 18th level. So there is a chance that Bards could pick this up. We're going to talk about Githyanki in a second. So, Astral Projection is a 9th level spell that is usable by clerics, warlocks, and wizards. I don't know why they bother to put warlock there, because warlocks can pick this up with Mystic. It can pick up basically anything with Mystic Arcanum. So, takes an hour to cast this spell. It has a range of 10 feet, verbal, somatic, and material component. And each creature you affect, you must provide one jacinth, and that is how you pronounce that, of at least 1,000 gold pieces and one ornately carved bar of silver, at least 100 gold pieces, all of which is gone. So, if you do 3 creatures, for each creature you affect, including, that means yourself. So if you do 3 creatures plus you, that means you need 4 of those jacinths, and you need 4 bars of silver. So that's a lot. That's a big piece of gold. But you're high level at this point, so possibly it is affordable. So let's go over the spell. You and up to 8 willing creatures, 8 is going to be 8,800 gold pieces, within range, within 10 feet, project your astral bodies into the astral plane. The spell fails, and the casting is wasted if you are already on that plane. So if you're in the astral, physically in the astral plane, you can't cast this spell to get back. I would suggest casting planar travel to get back. Other than, this spell is not one of those that you could use to get back. So the material body you leave behind is unconscious and in a state of suspended animation. It doesn't need food or air, and it doesn't age, but it can be hurt. Just remember that. Your astral body, so when it says it's talking about the caster of the spell. Your astral body resembles your mortal form in almost every way, replicating your game statistics and possessions. So it's got your hit points, it's got your saves, it's got all your stuff. The principal difference is the addition of a silvery cord that extends from between your shoulder blades and trails behind you, fading to invisibility after 1 foot. And there's a reason I'm emphasizing that, because we're going to get to that in the bottom. Because the cord comes from you, it does not come from your willing creatures that you brought with you. This cord is your tether to your material body. As long as the tether remains intact, you can find your way home. If the cord is cut, something that can happen only when an effect specifically states that it does, your soul and body are separating, killing you instantly. Okay. So, let's stop here for a second and go over what can take out. I've got a couple of examples. So, Githyanki Knights have this thing called a Silver Greatsword. It's right there in the hands. And on a critical hit against a target in an astral body, as with the Astral Projection spell, the Githyanki can cut the silvery cord that tethers the target to its material body instead of dealing damage. That will kill you instantly, okay? The other thing that is in there is the Githyanki Supreme Commander, which is a legendary creature, which also has a silver greatsword. If in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, those were silver swords. that were Vorpal weapons too. Just a little history lesson there. Okay, so your astral form can freely travel through the astral plane and can pass through portals there leading to any other plane. If you enter a new plane or return to the plane you were on when casting this spell, your body and possessions are transported along the silver cord, allowing you to re-enter your body as you enter the new plane. Your astral form is a separate incarnation. Any damage or other effects that apply to it have no effect on your physical body, nor do they persist when you return to it. So, talk with your DM about this, but this is a 9th level spell, and that paragraph states, because it's a 9th level spell, that you essentially should be able to instantly travel anywhere in the multiverse with this one, since the astral plane touches everywhere infinitely. So you can enter one of these portals, and so you could go to the astral plane and enter a portal that goes back to your plane, but to a different part of your plane, and you are instantly transported back with your body to that place. You could go to another plane, like say you were trying to travel to the city of Brass, and you wanted to go to a specific shop. There should be infinite number of portals on the astral plane that allow you to go. You step out into the astral plane, you go to that portal, and then you go to the shop that you want, that's say in the city of Brass, and then you're there. Now, again, talk with your DM about how this works. That's how it basically works in my game. There is a chance that you could be ambushed by things that are in the astral plane, like Githyanki. If you are, like, say, in the Tomb of Horrors, it specifically states in there that if you go into the ethereal plane or the astral plane, you're going to get gacked by some nasty Baylor or Pit Fiend. So that's another instance where you could get it. Okay, the spell ends for you and your companions when you use your action to dismiss it. When you use your action, so that's you, the caster. When the spell ends, the affected creature returns to its physical body and it awakens. So when you end the spell, everybody else comes back. The spell might also end early for you or one of your companions. A successful dispel magic spell used against an astral or physical body ends the spell for that creature. So if you get hit with a dispel magic, or one of your up to 8 willing creatures that you've affected get hit with a dispel magic, they immediately go back to where their body is. If a creature's original body or its astral form drops to 0, the spell ends for that creature. If the spell ends and the silver cord is intact, the cord pulls the creature's astral form back to its body, ending its state of suspended animation. Okay, if you are returned to your body prematurely, your companions remain in their astral forms and must find their own way back to their bodies, usually by dropping to 0 hit points. So that's why I kept saying your silver cord, blah, 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 because if the spell ends for you, your companions are stuck. And the only way that it looks like they can go back to their own body is by dropping to 0 hit points. So they don't have a silver cord. So you're the one that is tethered, and they're following you. And then you go back and you can end the spell, bringing them back with you. So, okay, the spell. Okay, so there's a lot of good uses for this spell. I have a few cons for this spell, and I have some pros. Okay. So, pros. Potentially instantly go anywhere in the multiverse. That's great. You can affect you and up to 8 creatures. Your bodies are transported to where you are going. And it only ends if it's dismissed, so it can last for a long time. That's a good thing and not necessarily a good thing. So some of the cons, it's an hour casting time. You do have this silver cord, which is susceptible to certain things, and those certain things that can sever that silver cord are often found on the astral plane. Your companions can be lost. It costs a lot of gold, relatively. A dispel magic can kind of separate everything out or end the spell. And it takes a 9th level slot, which is that's a big one. So Because it takes a 9th level slot and you're only getting one 9th level slot, you have to be careful how you're using this. So there are probably certain circumstances that you would want to use this spell, not always having it on. So there may be a lot of times when you're going to go, well, we could do astral travel, but we're not going to do it today. We're going to do it tomorrow because I need to memorize that spell. Some other kind of uses for this spell. I think this is probably a good DM spell for a big bad evil guy. If they want to get to someplace specific, or if they magically got a hold of this and they're trapped somewhere, then they could use this to escape. And I also think this would be a good target spell for a simulacrum to use, so you don't have to memorize it. All right, that is what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.